Okay, so just to let you guys know, just a heads up, this is a part that's probably going to feature me just exclusively just talking to pretty much everybody in camp. And if that bores you, I'm not going to feel hurt, or if you guys skip this to go to another part where there's gameplay. But for the purposes of the story, as well as getting to show and get to know each of these characters, especially for those of you watching who are new to this game, I'm going to try and record as much of this as I can, because this is really the part of the game that I enjoy, is the story and getting to know these characters and how interesting each of them are. So, yeah. But first, we're going to talk to this guy, Levy Dryden.
You're a hard man to find.
Oh, you were looking for me?
My manners? The name is Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins, Levy the trader.
Wait, you know Duncan?
Oh, yes, for years. Considered him a friend, I did. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time.
That's okay.
But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no
yes,
more.
I know.
A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
How did you know Duncan?
It's a bit of a tale, that is. But I'm the one who brought the Grey Wardens back to Ferelden. Well, I was one of the ones. There were a lot of us. Maker's breath, I'm a bit nervous. Honoured to be here, really.
Go ahead and tell your tale.
After King Marek freed us from the Orlesians, the Grey Wardens begged the King's permission to come into Ferelden, some sort of internal business. Me and a mess of other Warden sympathisers spoke on behalf of your order. Tan Loghain was very much against letting Orlesian Wardens in the kingdom. But Marek, Andraste, bless him, was a fair-minded monarch, and he let them in.
Go on, I'm listening.
So that's why I was there when the Wardens and their leader, Genevieve, presented herself to the King. The first Wardens in Ferelden in over a century. Proudest day of my life, that was. Duncan was a bit of a scamp back then. We were of an age and struck up a friendship.
Aww.
The King himself went with the Wardens on their mysterious business. When he returned, he rescinded King Ardland's decree, and the Wardens came back to Ferelden for good.
Why were the Grey Wardens cast out by Ardland?
People say it's because the Wardens have become terribly unpopular. Just soaking up ties and not doing a bleeding thing for the kingdom. I say that's bollocks, as recent events have shown.
Marek rescinded the decree just like that?
Marek was a bit of a visionary. A powerful mind, that one. In his travels with the Wardens, he must have seen how important their cause was, and been moved by it.
I doubt that's the full story.
Ferelden was ravaged by war, and your dwarven cousins, well, they had a proper appreciation of Wardens.
Of course we do.
But make no mistake, King Marek was a giant among men.
So I've heard. Well, I thank you for your part in bringing the Wardens back.
Oh, his stomach's all aflutter. You're welcome.
So what promise did Duncan make to you?
My family, well, past a bit checkered, to see. Nobles look at us with disdain.
Really? Why?
My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arland banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
Oh, man. What happened next?
Hard to say. After King Arland died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. And our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
I'm surprised you kept your name.
Our family's only crime was guarding the kingdom against the blight. We're not ashamed of that.
So what favor did you ask of Duncan?
I asked for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our
I
honor.
understand. I've never even heard of Soldier's Peak.
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Ireland's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honor.
Huh. How will reclaiming the peak help the Wardens?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there.
Really?
He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
That certainly sounds interesting. Why didn't Duncan help you?
Darkspawn surfaced in southern Ferelden, and Duncan got plenty busy recruiting new Wardens and meeting with good King Caelan. Duncan said he would help after the Battle of Ostagar. Said there might be useful things at the peak, but he never had the chance.
What do you need from me?
I can pick my way through the tunnels at the base of Soldier's Peak, but the place, well, they say it's haunted.
Oh, really?
And it'll be dangerous for certain. Will you think on it at least?
Your family's faith will be rewarded. I will help you.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
And this is probably going to be one of the next quests that I do. There are some pretty nice rewards that you do for doing this quest. So, let's check on Mikey. Hey, Mikey.
Oh, what, you little...
Whoa. What do you do?
Your furry friend here took offense at me getting near his food. He snapped at me.
Why'd you get near his food? Let's see. Good boy, teach a silly ass to well, he is a war dog. What did you expect? Oh, Mikey, be nice.
Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach.
Because he's so cuddly. Speaking of which, I just realized I still haven't given him that war paint I have. Here we go. Let's give him this. There we go. And he's got this braid. Look at that. Gave him like black paint on him. Like black face paint all over his body. Oh, he looks like a tiger now. Look at that. That looks awesome.
I once heard a really old legend about how the hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished.
He doesn't want to hear this story.
Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh.
Gagging noises. It's gross.
Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something.
Alistair, don't scare him like that. Oh, it's okay, boy. Don't worry, boy. I'd never feed you another human being.
It's not cannibalism if he's eating it.
You don't know that. See, he doesn't agree with you. See, what else is there?
Look at what your fool dog placed in my pack.
What do you do? He's wagging his tail.
A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
Oh my! Listen, look at some of these responses. Can't be stinkier than what normally goes into them. Oh, that's so bad to say. It's the thought that counts. He means well.
The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it
Be
again.
nice. Don't do it again. You're a war dog, not a nursemaid. Oh, I wasn't trying to be mean. He's having a growl off with Sten. I'm just gonna watch.
You are a true warrior and worthy of respect.
Aww. Wow. Sten actually said something nice to somebody. Yes, he said it to a dog, but hey, I mean, that's kind of quite a compliment from Sten. Saying he's a true warrior and he's worthy of respect. That's pretty cool. Oh, what are you doing? What are you trying to find a way through the earth? He just goes back to digging. What, do you have a bone buried in there? Alright, have fun then. He's just gonna keep doing it no matter what I say. I'm gonna pet him. That's a good boy. Oh, he's a good doggy. I love dogs. He pants happily. And we'll leave him alone. Okay, so I guess we've done all we can with Mikey. Alright, let's see. I know that there are definitely like extensive conversations you can have with the likes of Leliana and Alistair and Morrigan. Sten, not so much. So let's go ahead and just see what Sten has to say at this point.
Why are we stopping?
We're working together. I think I should get to know you.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
We're at camp. Sten, you can relax. We're resting. Are you alright? You were in that cage for weeks.
You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight.
If you say so. You said you were in the army?
I am.
Have you ever fought in a war?
I have always fought in war, dwarf. So you must know your way around a battlefield then? Some of them. They aren't all alike.
I've never seen a Kunari before. Tell me about your people.
No.
Please?
People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of, the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
A little hostile, aren't we?
Many humans have said that to me. I do not understand it. If I were indeed hostile, you would be bleeding.
Good point. So this is you being calm and helpful?
Couldn't you tell?
You know what? Oh, this is the only response I have. You know what? Just follow orders and you'll do fine.
As you wish.
Oh, at least he approves.
Yes.
Let's see. I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Why did you come to Ferelden?
To answer a question.
And what was that question?
The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here.
What is an Arishok?
The one who commands the Antam, the body of the Kunari.
Oh, so he's like your people's leader. So he's your king?
Kunari have no kings.
What do you have then?
Little patience for endless questions.
Did you find the answer to his question?
A portion of it.
What was the answer?
Were you not at Ostagar when the army was overwhelmed? That is your answer.
Don't you have to report back then?
Yes.
When are you going to do that?
Never. I cannot go
What?
home.
Why not?
It doesn't matter now. Can we move on? We keep the darkspawn waiting.
What were you doing in that cage?
Sitting, as you observed.
That's not what I meant.
It's what you asked.
You don't like me much, do you?
Warden, if I truly disliked you, I would leave. That I am still here, you may interpret however you choose.
Are you going to answer my question?
I did. Parshera, was there anything else?
I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak, then.
That's enough for now.
Then I suggest we move
I
on.
have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Actually, never mind.
Very well.
Okay, so, yeah. I could actually
As you
tell
wish.
them to leave. And that's... Oh, he disapproves. Yeah. So, it's because of that I tend to do things like this.
Are you sure
Where
I
I
can't
go
interest
to
you in this?
Bodan,
I'm sure.
and I get one of these DLC gifts that are specific for them. I'm trying to remember who goes to who and if they're bad or not. Let's see. Kunari Prayers for the Dead. I think that's a positive for Sten. I'm not completely certain on that, but let's find out. Oh, there it is.
Unexpected.
Yep, I was right. See?
Thank you.
Plus 50. Huge boost. And look at that. He gets more added to his strength.
You are not quite as callow as I thought. That is unexpected.
All this from me giving him a book about his people's prayers for the dead. Callow? You thought I was callow?
You sound surprised. You must have heard this before. You'll get over it. Eventually.
So, will you tell me now why you were caged?
I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
Wait, you put yourself in that cage? They didn't put you in there? You put yourself in there?
I know that my failures were my own. I told you before that I was sent here. I was not sent alone. I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell.
Whoa. What happened to the other Kunari?
I am told no others survived. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke I was no longer among my brothers, and my sword was gone from my hand.
You probably dropped it on the battlefield.
Perhaps. I searched for it, and when that failed I asked my rescuers what had become of it.
Did the farmers know where it was?
They said they found me with nothing.
Did you believe them?
I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
Wow. He got so distraught over losing that sword that he panicked and just, without even realizing what he was doing, he killed that family. Wow. You panicked over a lost blade?
That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Anton. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath.
Huh. Wow. So that sword is more so than just a sword. It's like an heirloom in a way. Like the weapon he received when he first joined the army, and that it was to be his weapon until the day he died in the battlefield. And if he doesn't have that, he can't return to his homeland because they would just kill him on sight and see him as a deserter. Wow. Couldn't you search for it?
If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Where did you fight the Darkspawn?
Near Lake Calenhad.
Don't worry, we'll find it.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
And so we get the quest, the Sword of the Beresad, where we can now help Sten look for his sword. So, for now, I believe that's as much as I can talk to about Sten. So, let's see, Alistair or Leliana. Let's talk to Leliana.
Yes? Something you need?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
This vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell. And the darkness drew me in.
Huh. What then?
When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell, or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything?
The Chantry says that the Maker has left us.
He's still here. I hear him in the wind and the waves. I feel him in the sunlight that warms my skin. I know what the Chantry says about the Maker, and what should I believe? What I feel in my heart, or what others tell me?
Believe what feels right to you, Leliana.
Thank you. It's nice to find someone who agrees. I know what I know, and no one will ever make that untrue.
+4, very nice.
Yes? Something you need?
I talk to you.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Let's see. Why did you decide to come to Ferelden?
My mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
Huh. What happened to your mother?
Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother.
You were young, it's understandable.
Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andraste's Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on.
+1.
Yes? Something you need? Yes? What's on your mind?
Do you miss anything about Orlais?
I miss Valroyaux. Unlike other
Valroyaux.
cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Valroyaux was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in Valroyaux, streaming from the many windows, quiet refrains and triumphant choruses. And always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the Grand Cathedral. It was magnificent.
I'm wondering if I want to say this. Orzammar is magnificent too.
Yes, I'm sure it is. But every city has a different personality. It is hard to describe. You have to be there. Of course, there are good things and bad things about Orlais, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Orlais.
It must have been a big change moving to Lothering.
I left behind much, leaving Orlais. But there is more to life than dresses and furs. It is sad that many have lost sight of this. Orlais is very fashionable, almost ridiculously so. But the shoes! Living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
Yep, she is definitely Leah girl. Oh, the shoes, yes. Let's see. What's a nice answer here? Let's see. I'm kind of tempted to choose this one. Shoes or shoes? Nah, that can't be right. Were they ridiculous shoes?
Sometimes. About 10 years ago, all the ladies went mad for shoes with soles as large and heavy as bricks. But it isn't always that silly. When I left Orlais, the fashion was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course. It was spring.
Wouldn't that be hard to walk in?
I wouldn't want to run in it, or have to enter battle, but for lounging in a lady's sitting room, perfect. The shoes made in Orlais were exquisite. Not at all like these clunky fur-lined leather boots you have in Ferelden. Ugh, just look at them.
Oh, here we go. Leliana, you don't need fancy shoes to make you beautiful.
Thank you. It's kind of you to say so, even wearing these mud-covered horrors. They're sturdy shoes, but sometimes a girl just wants to have pretty feet. Oh, I could talk about shoes all day.
I'm sure you could.
But we have things to do, don't we?
Yes, just like other girls, they could talk about shoes all day. Yes, I've heard many jokes from I think married male men comedians about their wives and their bajillion shoes that they have in their closets.
Yes? Something you need?
Let's see what else we can talk to her about.
What's on your mind?
You were a traveling minstrel. Do you have tales to share?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Know any stories from Orlais?
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Orlais.
That sounds interesting.
A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
Continue, please.
Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
Did she win the tourney?
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Kaleva in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the joust, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
Wow. I was hoping for a happy ending.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
Let's move on. Alright, I stopped there because I realized I saw the time for this part, so we will continue story time with Leliana in the next part.